It's the beginning of the 2022 rainy season. This is the 6th Brigade of the Karen Rebellion, somewhere in southeastern Myanmar. Today is a day of alliance between rival factions.
The Tamado, the military dictatorship, the main supports are coming from Russia, and second is also from China. But right now, because of Russia is having a bad time in Ukraine, so I don't think they can support them like they used to be. Yeah, they're sending jet fighters, helicopters. Recently, in many battles, they try to drop bombs and rockets, shooting rockets to the people, especially they target the civilians. But now we're quite aware of their rockets and airplanes and bombers, so we have no worry.
I'm happy to be back in the mother organization. Our duty is to be together to crush the Myanmar military, these dictators who oppress our people.
Young, old, women and men from the countryside and the cities. These pro-democracy fighters come from all over Myanmar to join the ethnic rebellions.
I'm proud to be here. What the junta is doing is horrible. I couldn't stand by and do nothing. I'll fight to the end.
And then there are those like this soldier who deserted his battalion to join the insurgents.
I've seen too much injustice. I couldn't stay one more day in this army. I'm not concerned about my family back home. They were worried at first, but now they're fine. I bring my military expertise to my comrades. We'll win.
We will never ever give up.
Myanmar has returned to a reign of terror. On the 1st of February 2021, General Min Aung Hlaing ended a decade of democratic progress in the country with a bloody coup d'etat. Thousands died, hundreds of thousands were displaced, some 15,000 held as political prisoners. Over the past year and a half, organized resistance has been growing against Myanmar's military. These young people are all students who have chosen to fight. They fled into the jungle to join the clandestine People's Defense Force of Myanmar, the armed wing of the government in exile.
And what do you need the most?
I have prepared to die for my country. I want to fight Burmese soldier. I want to kill.
We head further south in Myanmar's Karen state.
You never know here. The Burmese may come, but we try to make sure the place is safe. Now it's very risky to come here. And also during rainy season, this track becomes impossible to use. 3 weeks ago, there were people from the village over there who came here to take refuge in the caves, especially women who were afraid.
Recent strikes by Myanmar's Air Force have wreaked havoc in this region. This Catholic missionary is taking many risks to help the civilian population, the first victims of the violence. In these frontline villages, the inhabitants are caught up in the fighting. All are internally displaced persons.
The coup has affected many people, especially the young, who have their futures ahead of them. This girl, who ran away from Yangon, she says she wants to stay here, but as soon as there's tension, she runs away to the caves.
Familles qui viennent de ce village. Il y a 30 familles qui... Thank you.
Actually, this morning, around 50% of the villagers came back. And for about 20% of the others, we don't know where they are. In fact, the problem is that there are Karen rebels on the right, other Karen rebels on the left, and the Myanmar army everywhere. We're always afraid because we're accused of being in league with them. There are reprisals against the villages. That's why people are fleeing. We have been living like this for months.
With the return of civil war, Myanmar has once again closed itself off from the rest of the world. Across the border, Thailand has become a sanctuary for thousands of political refugees, hunted by the military.
I want to be a graduated person, and I do my work, and I want to spend my life so normally. But it's different for now.
Mo is 23 years old. For several months, she's been living illegally in a town just over the Thai border. She's the voice and the face of one of Myanmar's most watched opposition television stations, a network that operates on a shoestring budget.
It's very hot, and I think I'm a little nervous. အားလုံးပဲမင်္ဂလာညနေခင်းမှာတန်လွင်ကသတင်းဌာနရဲ့ဧပြီလ22ရက်နေ့နေ့စဉ်သတင်းစီစဉ်တွေကိုတင်ဆက်ပေးသွားမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်။ဒီသတင်းစီစဉ်ကို YouTube channel ကနေလည်းတင်ဆက်ပေးနေပါတယ်။ကျွန်မစကားမောင်ပါ။ဒီကနေ့တင်ဆက်ပေးသွားမယ့်သတင်းတွေကတော့အာဏာသိမ်းစစ်ကောင်ဆောင်ဗိုလ်ချုပ်မှူးကြီးမင်းအောင်လှိုင်ပါဝင်စစ်ကောင်စီခေါင်းဆောင်တွေပိုင်ဆိုင်တဲ့မြေယာအိုးအိမ်နဲ့အခြားပစ္စည်းတွေကိုတင်ဆက်သွားမယ်လို့ NUG အစိုးရကပြောဆိုလိုက်ပါတယ်။
There are about 15 journalists and activists living in this house. It's a secret place from which they never leave.
This is for revolution. Never forgive and forgive. Did do what? February 3 ရက်နေ့ကနေပါနော်
Yes, that's for sure. I'm a bit bored here because we're far from home in a foreign country. We're confined here. When I was in Myanmar, I used to go out. I used to see people. Now that's over. So I concentrate on my work, but it's hard. The secrecy, the challenges, not knowing what will happen.
ဘယ်အချိန်မျိုးမှာငါ့ရဲ့မိသားစုတွေဘက်ကို impact ရှိနိုင်လဲဘယ်လိုဟာမျိုးကသွားပြီးတော့ထိနိုင်လဲဘယ်အချိန်ထိမလဲဆိုတဲ့ဟာကိုတွေးနေရတာမျိုးရှိတယ်ပြီးတော့ဘယ်လိုအချိန်မျိုးမှာဒီခုဘက်ကဒီ military ဘက်ကနေပြီးတော့သူတို့ရိတ်စားမိမလဲအာယုံဆိုးဆိုင်မှုရသွားပြီဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ဒီမြန်မာနိုင်ငံမှာရှိတဲ့မိသားစုတွေကအန်ရင်ကြီးရပေါ့နော်ဆိုတော့အဲ့ဟာအတွက်ကိုတော့တောက်လျှောက်စိုးရိမ်နေရတယ်
A few months after the coup d'etat, dissenting MPs formed a shadow government, a parallel body with diplomats and ministers. They have all been sentenced to death in Myanmar.
We don't get the attention that we deserve because of people's sacrifice for the democracy. They long for that for a long time. They lost their life. What they care about is their democratic future. So in that light, the international community, especially the democratic countries, they should and they have to give more support to us.
With or without international help, the insurrection continues, and it's making gains. As it expands its campaign against the military regime, more and more soldiers are deserting. Here, we meet another one at a secret place on the border.
All the high-tech military equipment in Myanmar is sent by Russia. The rest is provided by China. Equipment for our leaders' security detail comes from North Korea and sometimes Pakistan. But the fighter jets, missiles, radars, and above all, the new internet and telephone surveillance systems, that's exclusively from the Russian army. I'm totally convinced that without Russian technical air support, our army would already be defeated.
Myanmar's generals thought they could overthrow the elected government and establish their power. So far, they have failed to do so. The people continue to resist as Myanmar sinks deeper into civil war.